Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, aka the Flawed Therapist. Today I'll be sharing with you 5 things that you're not currently doing that you should that's contributing to your depression and or anxiety. Now please keep in mind, yes, I am a licensed therapist, but I'm not your therapist. Of course, I say that with all the love in the world. If you haven't already done so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more real talk about mental health. All right, let's get right to it. As you can see by the thumbnail, number one, you're not minding your own business. Again, you know that I say all of this with love. So when I say that you're not minding your own business, what do I mean by that? What I mean is that we're so concerned about everyone else. Is this person good? Is that person good? Is mama good? Are the kids good? Is hubby good? Is wifey good? Are the cousins good, right? But you're not really minding you. Are you good? You're not checking in with yourself. Are you doing okay? Are you doing the proper things to care for you, right? And chances are, 9 times out of 10, we're not, which is why we feel the way we feel. We feel burnt out, we feel drained, we're not taking breaks. All of those things are contributing to how you're currently feeling, right? So, number two, you're not being mindful of what you're consuming. What do I mean by that? Now, keyword there is mindful. I'm sure everybody has heard that term mindfulness, right? All that really means is that you're being aware and you're being present. That's really all mindfulness is about, awareness and being present. Basically, when something is at the forefront of your mind, that means you're aware of it, right? You're kind of like how they say when you know better, you do better, right? So when you're aware of something, then you can do better with it, right? And then being present, meaning that you're present in that present moment, meaning you're tuned in, you're fully plugged in, right? And so I'll be honest with you, a lot of times we're just kind of like existing. We're not really living, right? We're not living, we're not plugged into our lives. We're just kind of like just going with the flow, right? Yeah, people say going with the flow is a good thing. Yeah, and I get it in certain circumstances, right? But when it comes to living your life, you don't want to go with the flow. You want to be plugged in. You don't want to be on autopilot, right? You want to be in manual mode because you want to be able to steer things the way you want it to go because otherwise life will steer you around, right? So sometimes we end up just kind of taking stuff in without knowing it. So for example, aimlessly scrolling on Facebook, aimlessly scrolling on Instagram, guess what you're doing? Even if you're not clicking on each post or whatever, you're consuming that material, you're consuming those things. People who watch news all day long, guess what you're doing? You consuming all of that. Quick thing, right? My mom is one of those people. She legit used to watch news like 24/7. I kid you not. She'll watch local news, then turn right around and watch world news. And then don't let me ask her, okay, well, what did you get from the news? What was it about? She doesn't know. She doesn't know, but she took all that stuff in. And believe you me, all of those things leave residue. They leave emotional, mental residue and it sticks with you, believe it or not, right? Just be careful too, right? People share things all the time, like videos, all those traumatic videos leaves a residue, right? It leaves a residue. I think we're all aware of people being killed by police or people killing each other, all kind of stuff going on, right? But we don't need to consume all of that stuff on a daily basis because that stuff is doing damage. It is leaving a residue. So let's be careful about, the posts on social media that we're taking in. You're just, the mindless scrolling is really the issue. You want to be plugged back into your own life. Plug back in. Plug back in. That's all I'm saying, okay? Number three, where we at? We're number three. You don't have a routine. That is a problem. Because I'm going to tell you right now, listen, when I get off my routine, I'm all kinds of almost useless. I'm irritable. I just don't feel right, right? See, now, okay, keep in mind, having a routine does not mean that you have to have the whole day planned out, like 9 a.m. I'm doing this, 10 I'm doing this. No, having a routine just means that you have certain things that you want to get done within each day, right? And you're going to fit those things in your day. And I'll be honest with you, it helps to have a routine because then you get to see, things that you can move around, right? So for example, if you're a person who normally does grocery shopping Saturday afternoon and good and well when you get out there, not only is everybody out on these Houston streets, right? Good and well that there's a lot of traffic. Good and well there's people out there waiting to get on your nerves, and they do irk your nerves, right? So guess what? Once you have your routine set and you know that, okay, on this day is the day that I plan on going grocery shopping, this is the day that, that works with my schedule, that's fine. Guess what? Now you can start to rearrange things to fit you, to be less stressful for you, to be less triggering for you, right? Meaning that, look, I used to go grocery shopping at like midnight. And guess what? I used to have a peaceful time because I'm a person who doesn't like shopping. Grocery, clothes, I'm good on shopping. I don't like any parts of shopping. So that's peaceful for me to just get in and get out, get what I need. If I wanted to, I could take my sweet old time, and that's fine because there's no traffic, there's nobody bothering me, it's quiet, there's no rush out, none of that. And it's peaceful for me. It doesn't, because it's something I already don't like to do. So why would I stress myself out and do it at a time where everybody and their mama's out there doing the same thing, right? Nah, we're not gonna do that. So same thing, when you have a routine, right? Life is about consistency. Life is about routines and patterns, right? Patterns of behavior, right? It's comforting to us. It's comforting. It makes us consistent too. And it's comforting to the other people around us too, right? Because they know what they're going to get with you. They know, people know when they deal with Sarah, they know what they're going to get with Sarah. Believe you me. You see what I'm saying? Because there's a routine, right? So for me, like I said in previous videos, one of my morning routines is having my coffee, checking the stock market, and, hopping on my treadmill. That's an investment I made in myself. And it works for me because, again, I get to just kind of like de-stress before my day starts, and it puts me in a good mood. It releases some good old serotonin, good hormones, and it gets me going. And I love it. But again, when I don't do it, irritable, just mad for no reason, tired, sluggish, and basically my day goes this way. It just goes downhill from there. So props to you people, you folks out there who can actually work out or exercise at the end of your day, because I don't know how y'all do it. But again, if that's part of your routine and it works for you, kudos. That's what it's about. It's about having a routine that works for you and is consistent, because again, things that you're fitting in that routine, which now brings me to the next thing. You're not getting enough sleep. Number 4, you're not getting enough sleep. Okay? Yes, I know I'm nobody's doctor. I'm not a doctor at all. But we all know this. And I promise y'all, one of the favorite things, and I say favorite loosely, by the way, I'm being sarcastic. One of the favorite things I love hearing people say is, "Oh, I'm good. I'm good with about 4 hours of sleep." Oh, actually, believe it or not, I can function on 4 hours of sleep. I do better when I have 4 hours of sleep. When you gonna stop lying to yourself? When you gonna stop lying to yourself? That's not true. That's not true. That is not true. I'm here to tell you. And everybody, and the funny thing about it is that everybody likes to think that they are special. Everybody likes to think that they are the exception and not the rule, right? No, I'm telling y'all, we're supposed to get at least 7 hours of sleep. Adults, I'm talking to y'all. You're supposed to get at least 7 hours of sleep. And I understand. I'm not a parent. I get it. Circumstances, you may not be able to get all of that. I get it, right? But look, these are not things that are easy to do or just automatic. If they were, you would already be doing it, right? You would already be doing it if this was automatic, right? So all of these things you have to be intentional about. You have to actually work at it, right? But it's not impossible, y'all. It's not impossible. We can do this. We can do this. Get enough sleep. I know I'm not a morning person, let me tell you, right? Which is also why I hop my happy behind on that treadmill in the morning to give myself some energy and kickstart my day. But I'm telling you, you got to get some sleep. Why? Because sleep is when all of the body's repairing takes place, right? Your body repairs itself. You don't need to do any detox. I promise you. Trust me. These are things I learned along the way too, right? We don't need to help our body do any kind of detox. Your body does those things naturally if you get the appropriate amount of sleep, okay? And please don't take your phone in the bed. Don't have the blue light shining and all that kind of stuff. Y'all know you can't sleep like that, right? So anyways, we'll do another video on that another day. But for the most part, for now, just understand you're not getting enough sleep. You need at least 7 hours of sleep. And you know what? A good medical YouTube channel for you to follow will be Dr. Mike. Dr. Mike is dope. He is a dope doctor and he's very knowledgeable. And this is one thing he says all the time. You need about 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Y'all notice I kept saying 7 instead of 9 because I noticed 9 sounds like, whoo, That sounds like I'm asking a lot, don't it? So I'm not asking you for 9, but at least let's hit that 7 hours goal. We can do it. We can do it. Invest, pour back into yourself, right? Which brings me back to the last thing, right? The last thing. You want to guess what it is? The last thing, you're not engaging in self-care. Yep, I'm coming to you like that. You're not engaging in self-care. That's a problem. It's a problem. But guess what, though? I got good news for you. If you do at least 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? If you do any one of those intentionally, if you intentionally do any one of those, you're minding your own business, meaning you're pouring back into yourself, you're being mindful of what you're consuming, or if you set a routine, if you start getting enough sleep, right, and you're doing it intentionally, guess what? You can check off number 5, because that's part of self-care. Like I said in the previous video, self-care is not selfish. It's not selfish. And self-care is not a treat. It's not a pat on the head. Good girl, good boy. You did what you were supposed to do. No, it's not about that. It's a necessity. It's something that should be sewn into your routine, your daily and weekly routine, okay? It's okay if you can't do something self-care every day. But I tell you what, though, I don't see why not. I don't see why not, because self-care could be something as simple as, rather than listening to foolishness in the car on the way to work, it could be listening to some, praise and worship, if that's your thing. If it calms you, if that's your thing, cool. It could be listening to some R&B music instead of rap. That might be your thing. It could be listening to some rap instead of R&B, because that might be your thing. It doesn't matter. It could be listening to classical. It could be listening to meditation, sounds of the breeze, whatever it may be. It could be just, I'll be honest with you, self-care could even be straight up you sitting in the car and just screaming before you enter work. So basically you're getting out everything, just let it out in the car before you enter that building, right? Whatever your workspace is, right? That could be self-care. That could be self-care, believe it or not. So it doesn't take much. We just have to be intentional. We have to just do it. That's the thing, because this means nothing until we actually put these things into practice. Okay, so if you like this video, go on and give me a thumbs up. Even if you didn't like it, you didn't like what I had to say because it hit home too much, but if you can relate to any one of the things I talked about in this video, you know what to do.